Hey lovely people, welcome to Reforms in India by Dr. Kapil Kakkar. Today I bring to you a video on a request by apparently a father who is fighting for visitation and custody of his child, and this is what he tweeted me, and hence I make this video. The father said, "Sir, like watching your video on reforms. Will be great if you consider making videos on Guardians and Wards Act. It's so old now, does not seem to be reformed for needs of modern society. Also on Law Commission Report 257 on joint custody." He further says, "Thank you very much, sir. Several fathers separated from their dear children are in mental depression, fighting for visitation custody for years. We all will be very grateful if we get any help to end parental alienation and get laws on joint custody passed." So dear friends, this is a very sensitive topic. Obviously, you might think not many children are being subjected to this kind of issues, but let me assure you, there are so many divorce and custody cases because of which the poor children are going through mental torture. So I went through this Law Commission report, which was headed by Justice Prakash, framed in 2015. It still has not been passed. We are sitting in 2020. Having said that, I saw a very immature report coming from the Justice Prakash, and I don't blame him for this. These people who are drafting the reports are not psychologists, they are not sociologists. So these people are mere judges or ex-chief justice who have been given the responsibility of drafting something in which they have zero education. Like I said, they are no psychologists, no sociologists. They do not understand the importance. And that is where I'm going to read something which will help you understand better what I'm saying, and then I take it forward. Like you would see on your screen, it says, "In addition to the above examples, there has been growing demand to institute shared custody in India from fathers' right groups who argue that the Indian family laws, including the law of custody, are biased towards the mothers. This assertion about the law being biased towards the mothers is not only factually incorrect, but the demand is also based on a faulty understanding of equality in our constitutional and legal framework. As we have discussed below, the father is still deemed the natural guardian under both religious and secular family laws, while the mother is not." My point is, whatever the Constitution of India might say, does the judiciary in this country, do they follow the Constitution of India in spirit? Do they comply with it? The answer is pure no. Whatever the commission headed by Justice Prakash, their observation must have been, and they might be right when they say father is a natural guardian. However, in most of the cases in the court, in the family court that I have seen, 95% of the time the custody goes to the mother. The mother misuses the custodial rights, would file property cases against the father, would ensure father does not meet the kids, and the immature justice, judiciary, judges, and now this report will somewhere say everything is hunky-dory. As you would have seen from this father's tweet, who tweeted me that he has not been able to meet his child, and there are many such people who are struggling. So now the first point is, when I went through this commission, I wanted to find out who are the members of this commission headed by Justice Prakash, and that PDF did not open. But I vehemently knew that all of these people would be ex-chief justices, judges, or lawyers. And like I said, they will not have any background of sociology, psychology, no education in this field. Their only education is law. Now the question is, we expect such people to make law in the area about which they have no specialization, no knowledge. And like I said, even in the constitution, even if it is imprinted that father is the natural guardian, however, 90% of the court would take mother to be the natural guardians and the fathers end up struggling. The question is why? So before coming to why, I go on to read some more that you would see here. There are several components to the idea of shared custody, such as clear determinants of the best interest of the child standard, the role of judges and mediators, parenting plans and so on. These must be laid down in the law in order for shared custody to be a viable option that facilitates divorcing parents to mutually agree on the preferred custodial agreement without compromising on the welfare of the child. Now, the last line is very important. Without compromising on the child's interest. However, the children's interests are abused and compromised by the courts. For me, joint custody should be the birthright of the child, and only in exceptions. For example, father is a drunkard, or mother has certain psychiatric issues or problems which can influence the child, is when one can think of giving the custody to one of the parents. However, having said this, in 95% of the cases, the child custody as an interim order, even if it's not a final order, in interim order it is decided that it has to go to the mother. Moreover, in many of the cases, even if the child custody is not given to the mother, the child is allowed to stay with the parent in his or her custody till the time the court actually decides who should be given the custody. So now what happens here? Parent gets further liberty to abuse and harass the child mentally by influencing the child against the other parent, that is his or her spouse. So what the courts will sweetly do is, the judges, they are going to keep the cases as pending. Now the question is, this law or this recommendation, which obviously I don't agree with, for me it should be a joint custody, but I would just read something more so that you understand it in a better, clearer manner. Therefore, we are not in favor of law practicing a presumption in favor of joint custody. Now this is important. They say we are not in favor of joint custody. This is what the report is indicating. As opposed to the case of guardianship, where we are recommended shared and equal guardianship for both parents. In this case, we are of the view that joint custody must be provided as an option that a decision maker can award if the decision maker is convinced that it shall further be for the welfare of the child. So now the question here is, it is talking about that they recommend guardianship but not custody. What is custody? Custody, they define it as rearing of the child by both the parents, where the decision lies with both the parents. In guardianship, you will have other aspects, the property rights of the child, etc., would also come by. Now, when we talk about a child custody, so when we don't have a joint custody, what are we doing? We are taking a child away from one of the parents. I have seen numerous instances where a child is with the mother. Now, why is the child mostly with the mother? Because the courts and basically the judges are more feminist. They think the child needs mother more, but they forget, if we have to walk, we have to walk with both legs. We need both hands, we need both eyes, and that is what is the need for a child, for both mother and father. But they will very comfortably give it to the mother. The mother would not follow the court orders, Or the children are given the visitation right that they should come to the court and they meet the father for 1 hour or 2 hours in a court or in a public place, which actually shows the bigot mindset of the judiciary and the judges of our country. They are not only feminist, but they are poorly educated when it comes to children. I have also seen cases where the mother has not allowed the child to meet their father, and the nana of the house has been designated as the father of the child. So the child or the grandchildren start calling their nana, their papa, their father. So imagine, what will they be calling their natural parent, the father? Nothing. For them, if nana has become synonymous to father, what is the value of father in the eyes of these children? And that is how bad this entire thing is. The courts of this country have on purpose, deliberately ensured that fathers don't meet their children for years. And then there is no emotional connect, especially coming and radiating from the child, because he's not met his parents, he's not met his father. What does the child do? The child, you can't blame the child. The mockery this judicial system is making out of the power given to them is condemnable in the harshest of the words. And the report, which I have also gone through, is equally condemnable. There is no substance. Like I started my video by saying, it's not made by the right people. Joint custody should be the right of every parent, be it father or mother. Last but not the least, these untrained judges do not realize the orders which they are passing, the one-sided orders, where they deprive one parent to beat the child, what kind of impact it is going to have on the future of the child, what the child would be going through. And that is the saddest part of the judiciary in this country. If you like this video, kindly share it and like it. More you like it, it goes to more people, it gets circulated more. Thank you.